In December 1999, Venezuela faced one of the deadliest natural disasters in its modern history. What began as relentless rain quickly transformed into a nightmare for the residents of Vargas State. In just a few hours, mountainsides gave way, rivers overflowed, and entire towns vanished under mud, rocks, and debris. This catastrophe wasn't a simple storm or a minor flood. It was a combination of extreme rainfall, deforestation, and human vulnerability. By the time the waters receded, tens of thousands had lost their homes and the death toll reached staggering numbers. But what caused such a devastating event, and why was it so catastrophic? To understand this, we need to look at the geography, the weather patterns, and the human decisions that made this disaster possible. If you're learning about natural disasters for the first time, hit the like button now. Understanding events like this can help communities prepare and survive. The disaster itself began with heavy rainfall on December 14, 1999. Over several days, a storm system moved across northern Venezuela, bringing rain at unprecedented rates. In some areas, rainfall exceeded 900 millimeters in a single week, an amount equivalent to what some regions receive in an entire year. As the rain poured down, rivers swelled beyond their banks, small streams turned into raging torrents. Landslides began on the mountainsides, first small, then massive as mud, rocks, and debris cascaded into valleys and towns. In Vargas, there was no warning system capable of alerting residents in time. Communication lines failed, and roads were washed away almost immediately. People had mere minutes, sometimes seconds, to escape. Entire neighborhoods were swept away in what witnesses later described as walls of mud. Moving like a living force, cars, homes, and everything in their path were destroyed. The destruction was indiscriminate, leaving both the wealthy and poor equally vulnerable. The human cost of the Vargas tragedy was staggering. Estimates suggest that between 10,000 and 30,000 people lost their lives. Tens of thousands more were displaced, left without homes, food, or clean water. Families were torn apart. Parents searched desperately for children who had vanished under mud. Rescue teams worked around the clock, often digging with bare hands, but the scale of destruction made organized efforts nearly impossible. Hospitals were overwhelmed, roads and bridges were destroyed, cutting off access to medical care and aid. Food and clean water became scarce. Survivors faced not only the loss of loved ones, but also the collapse of the very infrastructure needed for survival. Pause for a moment and imagine losing your home in a single night. If you want to learn more about how communities can prepare for disasters, subscribe and stay informed. It could save lives. The physical damage in Vargas was nearly unimaginable. Entire towns were buried under meters of mud. Roads disappeared, along with vehicles, schools, and hospitals. The capital city, La Guaira, was particularly hard hit, with neighborhoods wiped out and the port rendered inoperable. The Caribbean coastline, once a hub of tourism and trade, was suddenly a scene of devastation. Rescue teams faced enormous logistical challenges. Debris blocked access routes, making it difficult to reach stranded survivors. In many cases, survivors were forced to improvise. People climbed onto rooftops or trees to escape rising waters, while others were trapped in basements or lower floors of homes that were quickly engulfed by mud. The psychological toll was also profound. Survivors witnessed the sudden loss of entire communities, with friends and family buried or carried away. The trauma of seeing loved ones disappear, combined with the struggle to survive, left lasting scars on thousands. The Venezuelan government declared a state of emergency immediately. Rescue operations began, but the scale of the disaster made immediate relief difficult. International aid arrived, including teams from the United Nations, Red Cross, and neighboring countries. Temporary shelters were set up, but conditions were harsh. Food, clean water, and medical supplies were in short supply. Many displaced families had to live in makeshift accommodations for months, even years, as rebuilding efforts slowly progressed. One of the major lessons from Vargas was the importance of disaster preparedness. Early warning systems, better urban planning, and reforestation could have reduced the death toll significantly. Unfortunately, the disaster highlighted how vulnerable human settlements are when nature's forces are underestimated or ignored. Mini CTA number 3, if you care about building safer communities and understanding natural disasters, leave a comment below with your thoughts. Sharing knowledge is one of the most powerful ways to prevent future tragedies. The Vargas tragedy taught the world several critical lessons. Urban planning matters. Settlements in high-risk zones without proper infrastructure dramatically increase vulnerability. Early warning systems save lives. The absence of effective alerts meant people had no time to escape. Environmental stewardship is key. Deforestation and environmental degradation worsen natural hazards. Preparedness can reduce casualties. Community awareness and evacuation plans are crucial. Despite the heartbreak, Vargas also showed human resilience. Communities came together, survivors rebuilt their lives, and international aid helped lay the groundwork for safer urban development in the region. Today, more than 2 decades later, Vargas remains a symbol of both the destructive power of nature and the enduring strength of human communities in the face of unimaginable adversity. The Vargas tragedy reminds us that natural disasters are not just the result of extreme weather or sudden geologic events, they are also shaped by the way human societies interact with nature. Mountains may remain unmoved and rivers rarely bend to human desires, yet the choices we make about where we build our homes, how we use the land, and how prepared we are can turn a manageable event into a deadly catastrophe. Communities that ignore warning signs, fail to invest in infrastructure, or settle in high-risk areas are far more vulnerable when disaster strikes. Understanding these events is more than studying history, it's a lesson in survival. Every storm, landslide, earthquake, or flood carries wisdom for the future, teaching us where to build, how to plan, and how to protect lives. By learning from the past, we can turn nature's fury from a source of devastation into a challenge we are ready to face. The story of Vargas is a sobering reminder of how quickly life can change when nature unleashes its force. But it's also a lesson in preparedness, community, and resilience. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. By staying informed, you're not just watching history, you're learning how to protect yourself, your family, and your community from future disasters. Stay curious, stay prepared, and remember, knowledge is the best defense against the unpredictable power of nature.